This evening, mother's swift action saves 3 children from devastating house fire in Essequibo. President Ali inaugurates $200 million Victoria Lily Primary School in Tushin. Unidentified burn remains found in Perica from police investigation. In the region, Mexico violence. Critics question president's claim that crime declining. And internationally, Europe floods. Forecasters predict worst rains in EU history. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for September 6, 2023. I am Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, an anonymous phone call around 10 p.m. last evening led police to a gruesome discovery in Perica East Bank, Essequibo, where charred remains, including a burned skull and torso, were found at an incomplete concrete structure. Nearby, officers located tools such as a sledgehammer and a crowbar. Further investigation reveals that Rodwell, a mentally unstable construction worker known to the victim's family, was seen burning materials in the yard. The victim, Shannon Obermola Mohammed, a 29-year-old woman, visited the site earlier in the day but went missing. Unable to contact her throughout the day, family members ventured to the location in the evening, where they discovered a fire and Rodwell leaving the scene. After extinguishing the fire, they spotted what appeared to be a human skull amid the debris. As a result, the police were summoned. Today, government pathologist Dr. Nihal Singh performed a post-mortem examination on the remains, suspected to be that of Shannon Mohammed, and gave the cause of death a severe blunt trauma to the head. Dr. Singh also opined that the deceased was dead before the fire. Body samples were taken for DNA testing. Also, Commander Khalil Parashram has indicated that the suspect was arrested and is presently in police custody, assisting with the investigation. Also making the headlines today, tragedy struck a family in Essequibo when their one-flat wooden home went up in flames. The mother's quick thinking and bravery saved her 3 children from a devastating house fire in Mainstay Region 2. The fire broke out while the mother was washing clothes outside with 3 of her 5 children inside a bedroom. One of the children, a 10-year-old, noticed the smoke and alerted her mother. The mother rushed inside and managed to rescue all 3 children in the nick of time, as neighbors had already seen the fire and alerted her. The fire, believed to have started from a fused spark, consumed the entire wooden structure, leaving the family with only the clothes on their backs. An investigation is ongoing to determine the cause of the fire. Meanwhile, assistance for the family is being sought. Anyone wishing to assist the family can contact them on telephone numbers 649-3265. On a different note, President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali officially commissioned the Victoria Lily Primary School at Tushin on the east bank of Essequibo yesterday. The building was built at a cost of under $200 million and can accommodate over 300 pupils. It is equipped with 12 classrooms with Wi-Fi connections, an auditorium, a kitchenette, 2 security huts, sanitary blocks, and an area set aside for assembly. The new school is classified as a C-grade institution. It will be the first primary institution where Spanish will be taught from grades 1 to 5. The president stated that including Spanish as one of the core languages in the school's curriculum is necessary to the increasing number of Spanish-speaking children enrolled in the school system. President Ali, in his keynote address at the commissioning ceremony on Tuesday, said while the government has heavily invested in improving education infrastructure nationwide, there is an emphasis on enhancing performance in core subjects at the school level. However, he expressed concerns about the overall pass in mathematics, even though students continue to perform well in major national and regional examinations. Stick around when we return. Ministry of Public Works voices concerns over rising incidents of reckless driving and fatal accidents on the nation roads. And fatal accident update, motorcyclist dies in collision with lorry on Kendall Public Road.
Oh gosh, what's this? Me son can't read or spell. Stop! 0 out of 20. Is what I gonna do here?
Let's start improving your child grades today. Register for our primary or nursery department. Hidden Treasures, we're located at 204 E Half Charlotte Street between Camp and Alexander. Or contact us at 6490373.
I can call them now.
Hidden Treasures, discovering gems in young minds.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
All we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and poise cake. For the noodles, all of these will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, white spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinated, soak for all you want to know nothing with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, jerk seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document plantain flour, and then this butter we make with this quick piece powder, and we
boil in high. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Radhika went to the supermarket and she papa buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. She shaped like a guy in a map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. Today we bring you the details of an accident we reported on yesterday that claimed the life of a motorcyclist on Kendall Public Road in Berbice. The accident involved a motor lorry driven by Leroy Jacobs and motorcycle CK5854, owner driven by the deceased Ajay Ramchan of Ramfell Street, Nick Settlement, currently in Berbice. Enquiries disclosed that around 9:45 a.m. the lorry was proceeding east along the northern drive lane of the public road when the motorcycle, which was proceeding in the opposite direction, overtook a car and in the process collided with the front center portion of the lorry. As a result of the collision, the motorcycle burst into flames. The injured Ramchan was picked up in an unconscious condition and taken to the New Amsterdam Public Hospital, where he was seen and examined by a doctor who pronounced him dead on arrival. The body is at the New Amsterdam Hospital's mortuary awaiting post-mortem examination. The lorry's driver is presently in custody assisting with the investigation. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Public Works has expressed concerns over the rising incidents of excessive speeding and reckless driving on the nation's roads, leading to tragic accidents and loss of lives. The Ghana Police Force reported a significant increase in fatal accidents and deaths from January 1st to August 28, 2023, compared to the same period in the previous year. The ministry emphasized that responsible driving is essential in a civilized society and urged citizens to prioritize road safety. Despite extensive road infrastructure development to support economic growth, individual responsibility for lawful and safe road use is paramount. The government discouraged speed racing and drag racing on public roads, emphasizing the importance of adhering to traffic laws. The ministry warns of stricter fines and penalties for those involved in reckless driving and the destruction of public property, with drivers held responsible for repairs and replacement costs. Furthermore, the ministry calls for an extensive road safety campaign in collaboration with the police to address the root causes of these issues and enhance road safety throughout the country. In other news, on Tuesday, officers of the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit arrested 2 persons with over 17 pounds of cocaine during an operation conducted at Tushin Public Road on the east bank of Essequibo. A brief statement from Kanu noted that as a result of the operation, approximately 7.8 kilograms of cocaine with an estimated street value of approximately $8 million was seized. 2 persons are in custody, but they were not named. Don't go away after the break. U.S. Capitol riot. Former Proud Boys leader gets 22 years in prison. And Europe floods. Forecasters predict the worst rains in EU history.
Problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Hello, my fellow TikToker followers. He is Credit, and today all we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and poise cake. For the noodles, all of these will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, white spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinated, soak for all you want to know nothing with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, jerk seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document plantain flour, and then this butter we make with this quick piece powder, and we
fry, boiling high. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Radhika went to the supermarket and she probably buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. He shaped like a guy in a map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
Smart Minds Educational Institute, offering preschool, nursery, and primary levels. Finally, a school that is every parent's dream. Located at 69 Crow Street, offering academic excellence, trained qualified teachers, small class sizes, personalized care, and one-to-one attention for your little ones. At Smart Minds, register for full-time or evening classes, daily practice pass exam papers for proficiency at the grade 2, 4, and 6 assessment, and CXE exam preparedness, or join our Becca Phonics reading and writing program. So if your child is for preschool, nursery, or primary level, come to Smart Mind, located at 69 Street, or call 231-4885 or 600-9229 to enroll now.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 4-6 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. In his national address last week, Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador said that violence in the country is on the decline, But critics have been questioning the claim, saying that large swaths of the country are still firmly under control of drug cartels. Al Jazeera's John Holman reports.
Soldiers are back on the streets of Ciudad Juarez. It was common to see them here from 2009 to 12, when it was an epicenter of Mexico's violence. In the decade since, things had calmed. Now, the murders are up again.
The first mission is to reduce homicides. The second is reducing or beating street-level drug trafficking.
It's just one area in Mexico where violence has been exploding over the last couple of months. The country's southwest has been even more turbulent than usual. Murders are up by 20% in the coastal state of Guerrero. And authorities have had to send in 1,200 troops to try and bring calm to neighbouring Michoacan. In Jalisco state, criminal groups attacked police with explosives this July. Gangsters are using armoured trucks too, drones, even mines. Those caught in the middle continue to die or simply vanish. So far, an estimated 112,000 people have disappeared since former President Felipe Calderón began his so-called war on drugs in 2006. 5 young men gone, also in Jalisco state, this August, was the latest case to cause public outcry.
The pain is so big, we can't take it anymore. The days go on, the hours, and we don't have anything concrete. The authorities haven't confirmed anything.
Their relatives recognised them in a kidnap video, but authorities are still trying to find them or their bodies. Some of Mexico's forensic labs say that they're overwhelmed by the sheer number of remains. This cemetery in Guerrero is full of unnamed victims. And through it all, there's the knowledge that this could get worse. We're heading into an election year in Mexico, and as the politicians battle at the urns, so too do the criminal groups that are often behind them for power, territory, control of the population. In the past, it's led to a really bloody situation. But President Andrés Manuel López Obrador is seeing a different picture. According to government statistics, homicides dropped last year. He says that nationwide, those numbers continue to go down.
In security, our strategy is working well, attaining the causes of the violence and applying the principle that peace is a fruit of justice. Federal crimes have been reduced by 24%, homicides by 70%.
But in the country's hotspots, criminal groups seem as entrenched and combative as ever, while the Mexican state continues to struggle to fight them. John Holman, Al Jazeera, Mexico City.
The former leader of the U.S. far-right group Proud Boys, Enrique Tarrio, has been sentenced to 22 years in prison for the involvement in the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. The 39-year-old got the maximum imprisonment so far for the Capitol riot. Al Jazeera's Heidi Zucastro reports.
Prosecutors say Enrique Tarrio was the top commander of the far-right extremist group that on January 6, 2021, saw itself as Donald Trump's army. Tarrio was not physically present at the riot that delayed the congressional certification of Joe Biden's win, but prosecutors say Tarrio orchestrated the attack, recruiting lieutenants, monitoring the assault, and privately telling others later, "Make no mistake, we did this." Tarrio served a 4-month jail sentence in 2022 for another offense, telling reporters on his release that he was unrepentant for January 6th.
But some of the guys that are in there for the J6 stuff, they're going to be in there for a while. They're political prisoners, and I'm more worried about them than I was worried about myself.
That tune changed after Tarrio's May trial, in which a federal jury convicted Tarrio and 3 other Proud Boys leaders of seditious conspiracy. Tarrio told the sentencing judge on Tuesday that January 6th was a national embarrassment and said the trial had humbled him. The judge gave Tarrio 22 years, the longest of any Capitol riot conspirator.
While we respect the judge's sentence, we respectfully disagree, but yet we respect it. There'll be a day and a time where an appeal will come, and we expect the appeal to come soon.
Tarrio flashed a victory or peace sign as federal marshals led him away to prison. Another Proud Boys leader, who'd been sentenced last week, said he hoped Trump would become president again and pardon him.
Here, there was a serious attempt to stop the peaceful transfer of power, and it's a hallmark of American democracy. And I think there's a lot of concern among government officials, especially with President Trump out there still screaming about election fraud, that we have another presidential election coming up in 2024, and we want to make sure that we don't see a repeat of 2020.
The U.S. Justice Department has charged more than 1,100 January 6th rioters and says it continues to make new arrests. Heidi Jo Castro, Al Jazeera, Washington.
And internationally, Europe has been lashed by powerful storms in the past 24 hours. Heavy downpours triggered flash flooding, causing widespread destruction. Al Jazeera's Zain Bashravi reports.
In the Greek port city of Volos, cars are washed away like bits of debris. Heavy rainfall and floods are battering a region emerging from the European Union's largest wildfires on record. Extreme weather patterns, the Greek Prime Minister says, have become the norm.
I think everyone realizes there are certain weather phenomena that are beyond our capacity to handle, no matter how many flood prevention tools we have. When an unprecedented volume of water falls, which happens everywhere in the world, we will unfortunately have flooding. I am hoping the meteorologists aren't right, but we know we'll be facing some difficult hours ahead.
Emergency services are spread thin and overwhelmed. Survivors are becoming desperate.
We called the fire department, the municipality, the prefecture. There is no one. Cars have already been swept into the sea. We will mourn the dead. We have been talking to emergency services and the fire department since morning, and there's complete indifference. People with small children are at risk. We are asking for help.
Similar scenes in neighboring Bulgaria. The Black region, normally a hub for tourists, now an inhospitable disaster zone. Vast areas are in a state of emergency and evacuations are underway, hampered by damaged bridges and closed roads. The resort town of Sarajevo was hardest hit, and with predictions of more rain, people are moving to higher ground. In Turkey, at least 2 people were washed away when floodwaters swept through a camping site in the northwest. Other holiday makers are missing. Search and rescue operations are underway. In Istanbul, heavy rain flooded streets and homes in at least 2 suburbs. The Disaster Management Agency says more storms are predicted in parts of the country and has issued warnings for flash floods, lightning, and strong winds. Forecasters say a heat dome over Europe is causing high temperatures and resulting in extreme weather. Phenomena that can last for days, weeks, even months. This, they say, could become one of the worst floods in Europe in recorded history. Zain Bashravi, Al Jazeera.
This brings us to the end of the regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. And that's it, TV2 Headline News for this Wednesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 for a rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.